This is a play that I've thought about for a long time. It's a portrait of a community. Famously, this traveling salesman played by Nathan Lane comes into a bar room once a year and treats everybody.
I play Theodore Hickman, nicknamed Hickey to all the gang at Harry Hope's Saloon. He's thought of as a good time Charlie, the life of the party. Whenever he shows up, he spends a lot of money, buys a lot of drinks. Everyone has a grand time with him. And he's a troubled soul.
And it was a play that we had often talked about because Brian was interested in playing the role of Larry Slade, who's the older character, who's the antagonist in many ways to Nathan Lane's Hickey.
Larry Slade is has been called the Eugene O'Neill character on stage. He's the witness. It's a very hard play to do. It's about all of life, a brutal examination of the pipe dreams that men comfort themselves with.
And so a lot of the men in this bar are people who seemingly have given up on life, who have failed. My character comes in and tells them they have to destroy that. They have to destroy their illusions, get rid of them, kill them, and then they will find true peace and happiness.
The cast is on stage for most of the play. You need an outstanding cast, you need a brilliant cast, and I was very fortunate to put together a company made up of some of our greatest Chicago actors, along with some of the great actors in the United States and Canada.
Harry Hope is the proprietor of Harry Hope's Saloon. He's constantly giving away alcohol. He lives, I guess, like most of the other characters, in a big pipe dream about his own life. He hasn't left the bar in 20 years, ever since he buried his wife. His dream is that one day he'll just simply take a walk around the neighborhood. And he's been saying that for 20 years and never done it.
So it was a process over a couple of months of really putting together a great company.
Getting to have my first dive into an O'Neill play surrounded by such O'Neill veterans is a life-changing experience.
Well, I've worked with Bob before, and I would not turn down another opportunity to work with Bob. He wants to create an ensemble where the people connect on stage and off stage. He values every character. He's watching every story. He's watching when a glass comes up and what that tells about your story, and he's able to sort of parse all that so effectively.
You know, we are not only forming a community on stage, we are a community off stage. And the more the deeper that goes, the deeper the relationships will be on stage.
It was important to me that it involved Bob Falls and Brian Dennehy. First, just the fact that Brian and I have known each other for over 30 years and we've never worked together. Both Bob and Brian obviously have a history with the plays of O'Neill and a history of collaborating together very successfully.
Bob who? I have enormous respect for him and affection and admiration, and I like him. The only person I know who's harder on myself than me is Bob Falls. So that's a good thing.
Nathan Lane is an amazing beast of a performer because it is very much like running a marathon. He brings the musculature of someone who is used to performing mammoth works night after night into the rehearsal room every day.
This play, I think, is a play that can hold its head high with most of the great plays ever written. It has a Shakespearean quality in its sort of size, in its scope, in its vision. And like Shakespeare, I think that it can be done at any time for any audience, anywhere.
Well, I think it has a lot to say to any audience, contemporary or otherwise. Basically, he's saying that man cannot live without his illusions, his life lie, his self-myth, whatever you want to call it.
This play really embodies a lot of what is great and beautiful about that dream, and also what is extremely flawed about it.
The only way you get through life is with pipe dreams. That not only are they to be understood, they're to be cherished. Sometimes they're very destructive, but the point is you have to have dreams. You have to have dreams for yourself that even if they don't work out. They will somehow get you through the night, or the next day, or the next year.
But the other thing to remember about the play is it has a tremendous amount of humor, and he wanted it to walk that line of one moment it is very funny, maybe darkly funny, but it is genuinely funny, and then it turns on a dime.
It's that balance, that beautiful balance, and that Shakespeare's so brilliant at as well. Comedy lives right beside tragedy. They're on the same street, and to be able to flip back and forth, it's so human, that whole concept.
It is about giving yourself over to the play and the world of the play, but I do think it is worth the effort.
It requires a responsibility on the part of the audience. This is a play that has to be experienced in all its power, all of its passion. People have to come and they listen.
It's a huge undertaking. This is the most complex role I've ever taken on, and so it's frightening but thrilling.
It's why anybody does this, and certainly it's why I do it at my advanced age, because I can't imagine doing anything else.